有種出到藥嘅，有派醫生 be careful 派下藥嘅，我哋派你呢家摸呢就ra cho xuống đấy có phải tụi nó tụi tấn đầu by Indochina yeah Pai is the one that challenged the Chinese tiger dragon. Yep, the viper right there in Indochina. Yep, Pai was murdering. Yep, these Indochina kings versing Hmong king. Pai was flying around faster than light versing those angels. And right there, Pai, that is in 2000. Yep, 2150. Yeah, real. Yeah, right around there. Yep, 2150. All Pai equal chỉ cho không được Pai con đầu Indochina cho tu chỉ cho lỗ. Không có được tu chỉ cho tu tiếp liền nó ít tu hù ra cho số hù số nó tu cho kia. And then you verse the tiger, yeah, Pi C, Pi verse the tiger, viper, demon, and then Pi fail, yeah, Pi fail, Pi fought it 4 days, and then it vaporized Pi, but Pi paced together in 2 months, real, yeah, in 2 months, 63 days, and they say you pop out, and you heal, and you shout, and boom, you fly straight to Burma, yeah, you fly straight to Burma, to got the lying Burmese and Kairan. And then you fly straight to southern China and you shouted, where is the viper? Yeah, where's the viper? Yeah, and you kept murdering Chinese with your holy sword. And then I saw you pull out the green swords, really white sword, yeah, the holy sword. And then right there, you fought it again. But really, you left the planet. Yeah, I left the planet for about 50 years. And then another 50 years, Pi came back about 100 years. Pi came back down to Earth, and then Pi versed it, and it dies. Pi has true, yeah, it's true. Because it is super fast, but it is nothing but a demon. And Paiusen, when you defeated it in southern China, the fucking shit didn't know it's a cannibal. Yeah, it's a cannibal. It ate Pai's right arm and torso and legs. Real, yeah, real. That's why Pai killed it. Pai was flying around. It was mad. It flew towards Pai. Pai cut it. And then right there, Pai, it ate you. And then you heal and you cut it. And the 4 hours, 4 days of fighting it. And when you're fighting it, Pi, I saw all you have left is your left arm. Real, yeah, real. The best fight scene, Pi. They thought you died, Pi. Yeah, you won. 14 minutes later, the fucking Singapore Indo fuckers, yeah, kept macheting you. Didn't matter. 4 minutes, boom, yep, you paced together. And then you shouted, yep, their heads exploded. They died. And then right there, chunks of them flying out of them. Real, yeah, real. 14 minutes. He said, Mutapai, yeah. And then 9 hours, all the Indo people, yep, takes off from your body, yep, your body's hit the ground, Pi, and you're healing, and it took you 60 days, and then you're back up flying, yep, normal. It was there, Pi learned, yep, the Chinese viper dragon, that motherfucker is pretty tough, yeah, it's pretty tough. 2 hours, you make preparations, and you're leaving planet real, yeah, real. It'll be about 48 years, Pi, and you'll get back to Earth. Near 48 years, you leave the planet, Pi, yep. And then right there, another 20, about 50 years, and you're back down, Pi. Yep. So it's about 130. Yeah, 130, and then you're back down. Yeah, that's true. You came back down to Earth, and right there, 2000. It is 2,300 something when you came back down to Earth. Real, yeah, real. And right there, Pi is not nice. Pi cut up Pi's son, yep, and Pi, any of Pi's half Chinese sons who didn't obey law. Pi checked the bot, yeah, Pi checked the bot spirit, the camera. 2 hours, Pi, yep, they obey law normal. Pi checked Pi's Cantonese sons, yep, normal. And then they knew it. It will be 14 minutes of you fighting the Copper Mask. Her is allowed to be shameless, but her dies straight. And right there, Pi murdered her. Only ones who hate Pi enough to do that. And Pi knew, yeah, those are folks, yeah, and that's fine. And Pi, you murdered her, and 3 hours later, 2 hours later, the viper cut off the head and said, woman, you has been mauled by Va. Pi murdered the first one in Florida. Yep, her was half Hmong, half Chinese. Pi murdered her in Florida. The 2 others full Chinese, and then I saw 2 idiots passed away right there, Pi, in fucking Thailand, thinking they're so fancy. Pi wrote, stupid human scum. You have no home up there. Real, yeah, real. And Pi, you said, 2 hours of that, he says, how come you know your future? Because I'm God, yeah, because me God. And right there, Pi said, when you're waking, 4 fucking fakes crying right over there. You murdered all 4, yeah. All four of you will die. All four of thou will die is real.
And he says, he said, you know you hate them.
Real, yeah, real. Because Pi is running, on chemical skim too, and it hurts. And right there, Pi hurts a lot because 4 hours, Pi using right there went to about 9 years, and you can move faster. Like after installation, about 13 minutes, Pi, right, you felt good, but later on you knew it, Pi. Fly around your cryptic and you'll find out what she thinks. And then right there, Pi, after you heal, in your veins, Pi, you feel icy, and then it burns, Pi.
Yep, feels like ice and it burns. Your blood vessel feel. Yep, that's real. You like it. That's real, Mana.
Accurate.
That's when you know, Pi, why you hate humans.
Accurate.
3 days later, those fuckers are fleeing. You murder them. And then 9 hours of people lying to you. They just get murdering. Because after you vaporize them, you can see their soul.
Accurate. Yeah, everything they know, that's true. And look at that. After Pi vaporized, Pi took their data. Pi laughed so hard, and then Pi knew it. What the fuck? Her was hiding 2 hours. And then Pi easy. And then 5 minutes later, they wrote, what good is Indochina kings? And Pi wrote, what good is Chinese, Yoku? And then Pi wrote, I'm a King Cobra. Indochina. Pi's looking to see which one is the real Indochina King Cobra. Because the real one is a Malaysian wheel. That's true. Those are super quick. And Pai said they have an emulated Aztec, supercharger. And then Pai said when you kept fighting them, you saw when their supercharger isn't working, Pai murdered them. Yeah, Pai murdered them. Pai have a turbo. Pai has a turbo. And then Pai has an emulated, supercharger in the future because Pai theft it from other human gods. And Pai not tell you, that allows you to go faster, but it is not fun. It is not fun. Your alloy, Pi, you can only go about 20 billion times. You can only amplify your speed about dex about 20 billion times, and then you need to quit because your skin will rot. That's true. You have to go and rebend. And then right there, King Cobra, consume a faster god. Spinal cord has to get harder, nervous system and skin, and retinas and brain tissue. 2 hours, Pi and bone, and look at her fleeing on foot. 2 hours, and then your alloy chemically matches the new hardness index, and then you can amplify in your new speed. And look at that, fucker knows that your turbo works. And then Pi, you said right after you did the supercharger emulation, you only fight like that for 4 days. And you not say, because I knew it. When Pi tested on Earth, Pi was only 4 hours slower than had it. That was in. That was the beginning, and then right afterwards, Pi match eventually. And then later on, Pi, when you matched, you knew what he said to you. Was it fun, Pi, lying to human gods? You cut open 2 Israelis, and then Pi and they think you're joking and stuff. Pi is the vanguard with the green swords that cut open those stupid Saudi Arabian gods. Real, those pirates. 9 of them, that's true, 9 of them. You went through Saudi Arabia versus Pi in one of the dragon sectors. Pi noticed is overtaken by stupid white people and stupid Chinese bitch goddesses. And right there, Pi, you murdered them. And right there, you murdered 5 of them. And then 4 of them escaped. And they shouted, he's a near level 4 war god, leave him alone. And boom, they took off. They took off. He is Crescent Moon, green hazel eye, white war god, speed, dex, spot. And Pi's like, right there. They're lying to you. They're level 3. They're probably level 3. They're probably level 3 Persian war gods. They have silver quartz eyes, but their real genetic code is blue hazel. That's true. And look at her face, Pi. Fucking scared of you, because they have the video footage of you murdering 5 Middle Eastern war gods, in a dragon orb space station from a 6,000-year-old Malaysian mother who fell, and then went up there robbing her space countries. And right there, Pi, when you went into that sector, those you murdered 5 with the green swords, 4 flew off, and then he shouted, Pi, in the future when you fought them, you did 900 trillion times 80 per second on them for about 4 days, Pi. And one of their fathers amplified and matched your speed, and you went out of there. Pi went out of there because Pi's metal is only 20 billion times amplification. That's true. The elixir is built for higher war gods that can do 50 billion, yeah, 50 billion to 80 billion plus. I can't do that. My metal is too weak. Yeah, my metal is too weak. And my spinal cord isn't light. That's true. 2 hours, Pi. Yeah, you're out of there. Yeah, you're out of there. He says every time they amplify Pi, and you amplify, you match for only 3 days Pi. Yeah, minimum. Yeah, that's true. And then later on Pi, when you get advanced, near 8 days Pi. Yeah, that's true. And then he makes fun of you. He says, Pi, you said you could kill most of them in 8 days, but yeah, their decks and you are not generic, but it's like this, but they're organic gods like you. Their speeds, you have increase, and your speeds increase naturally. So that's true. That's true. Right there, you knew it. Your engine can only grow that much dex, that much speed. You need to get out of that. That's true. Yeah, Pi's spinal cord, skinny elixir can only be that fast, and Pi's out of there. And then you see Pi, his is real Persian made. Yep, that's true. But Pi's King Cobra sounds, yep, save Pi's butt. What you don't know, Pi, yeah, you murdered 5-sided star, but look at that fucker. Took 7 million years to kill 5-sided star in one of the dragon sectors, but look at them. They're real, yeah, they're real Saudi, yeah, they're real stowaway Saudi pirates. And right there by you, they have footages of you murdering the 9, the 5, and then the 4 escaping you. And the right there, he's telling, yeah, don't go after Godva, yeah, don't go after he's a 4, yeah, he's a level 4, yeah, he's a level 4. Holy shit, 2 hours, people knew it. Chứ mà tụi ma đến tụ con điều không mà đây nhia đâu, yeah, đó chính là bỏ điều không mà đây sẽ có tụi ta chi tụ đâu, yeah. Tụi lúc đấy cho ra tụi nó bỏ có video nữa, yeah, the video footage of you doing that's real, yeah, it's real, yeah, it's real Pi. 5 feet 5 tall, only real. Pi did not mod the height. And look at that Pi. They knew it is the real one, yeah, it is the real one. On your chest is not a crescent moon, it is that circle with the gouged out Pi areas. Yep, real, yeah, real. That is Pi, yeah, that is Pi. And then he says, Pi, you said, you is that final form, but you're an Aztec grade level. And then Pi, you have all of Aztec 4-sided stars, yep, superpowers, and metal alloy, and elixir. You match Pi, yep. 4-sided star Aztec is in the North Pole, yep, Antarctic. And Pi, you said his temple, he has temple, and you won, Pi, yeah, you won. She said, you dare challenge Paisan? The last war god, yeah, who's from real pure root, yeah, that's true. And he didn't believe you, Pi. 2 hours, his dad threw out his stuff, and he said, those are real, yeah, white ancestors who cloned from Aztec. Those other things are pure Persian cutthroat, yeah, probably 7 million-year-old Iwas his children. And then Paisan, when you check the data, Iwas and you, same speed. Had it isn't lying. Yeah, had it isn't lying. He is a bit faster. Yeah, he is a bit faster. I came back down, checked his dex, that the molecules in the sticks on his dex speed from his skin, cellular body secretions after fights, and then elements. Yeah, atoms. I noticed. Yeah, it is fast. Yeah, he is faster. And then 3 hours, you do match Iwas Pi, but it took you about a few 100 trillion years to match. Well, it took you about 9 trillion years to match had it. Yeah, to match had it. Yeah, that's true. And then you lied to them. Yeah, you lied to them because you're a real level 4 Pi. And then you didn't want to tell them. Every time you fight, you have special, you have fighting stance and formation. You always survive, but you heal fast, Pi. But you lied to them because if there's such a real scenario, if they outnumber Pi, Pi wasn't fast enough, and Pi's third eye wasn't working. Pi didn't get out of there on time. Pi would be die. Yeah, Pi would die. Yeah, Pi would die, and that's why Pi. You fight carefully. You murdered them within 3 days, and you're out of there. That's true. That's true. The best fight scene, Pi. Every swing on most white war gods.
Yep, you do 80.
Yeah, near 80 trillion. Yeah, 80 trillion swings per collision. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Every time you get close to each other. Boom, 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 boom. And then you parry several cuts too. And Pi use it. Graphic.
Yeah, Pi, you parry about 80,000. And then you cut about 80 trillion. Because they're slower.
Yeah, they're slower.
And then be careful, Pi. After that, you knew immediately what war gods we're talking about. If you have another hyper mode speed, you know your speed is faster. Afterwards, when you see the faster one, and then you see it in hyper mode, and you get cut up flee.
Yeah, yeah, I do flee.
Yeah, by time travel, by all the time knew it. Him cut me over there, yeah, as you know.
Have to go, yeah, 3 hours, Paisa. You see what happened? You did it. But you're the last Hmong god that did it accurately. China is thrilled, but Paisa, you murdered them off in 2280. Yeah, around there. Yeah, that's real. Yeah. Why not lie to you? Yeah, why not lie to you? It is the end for you. And then the Indochina, Pi gave them one option. Yep, you're all taken prisoner of but with dignity and then healthy. Yeah, healthy, not disease or burnt or like vaporized, but healthy. And then Pi puts you up there in Burma, yeah, where the grandma hawks can send you back to your real grandpa, your grandpa hawk demons, and then the tail demon and the upper torso human. Real, yep, the progenitor of your nations, yeah, space station. Real, yep, that's real. And right there, they hate you, Pi. Yep, they wrote me out. Pi is legit. Pi has one, two. That's true, that's true. As much as Pi hates them, that Pi is the progenitor's DNA. The freaking gods captured Pi and crippled Pi's dads, yep, Cobras, and metal devices and technology. And then Cambodia went to Aztec and redesigned the god, yep, devices and went back up there. So they are actually the redesigns, yep, they're actually the space country builders that redistributed yellow god technology and science to build back space. And Paisa, later on in life, real. The little fucking faggot lying to you is a bit. It dies and lies in Thailand.
You'll die right there in Burma. Real. We come out in 2052 and 53 to murder you stupid lousy. Real. Yep, me.
Yeah, me, real, yeah, real. Yeah, to đã nhận được tự sống tu sớm mà lại tuột em lọt tới tại cái real, yeah.
14 million souls gone.
Yeah, go blow long to yeah, that's real. Yep, that's real. Remember that date, 2052, 53, real. Yep, because right there, Pi, you're also summoned and you fly to Thailand, and then I see 2 other fucking kings and you murder them. That's true. And then Pi told them you are false. Yeah, you was a false. And then look at that, 3 hours. The fucking fake Burmese woman smart, you know, hiding, because right there, all the grandma, grandpa come down to check your genetic code, your eyeball and brain tissue genetic code. They know which origins. Real, yeah, it's real. That's why his fucking bullshit origins, Pi, he was tossed right there to Indochina, Pi, and then right there he thought Indochina was anything wealthy. Those are space pirates. Yeah, that's true. Knowing that the real mom royalty passed away 6,000 years ago, of course those are fucking pirates. That's true. The 2025 year today, and look at their face, fucking tossed right out, fucking from Indochina. Even Saudi fucking garbage. God buys a 4-headed king cobra. Real, yeah. Re-raised and DNA of the 3-head. Real, yeah. That's true. And he took off. Yeah, he took off, Pi.